Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Talk. I'm Alex.
I'm Rashid.
Your favorite redhead, James.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, and I'm the super awesome Zachariah.
If we're giving nicknames, I should have gave myself a nickname. I'm OJ Pimpson from now on.
Sounds great.
All right. You know, this week we actually have a lot going on. We're getting to the summer,
Yeah.
so we have a lot to look forward to. E3 coming up in a few months,
Sweet.
in a month or two.
There are too many movies I have to see this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
There's actually more movies and sneakers I have to buy this summer. That's good.
All right, so a lot.
Yeah.
I think the biggest, more nostalgic for me. I don't know about you guys, but the Gameboy has actually turned 25.
I feel super old. Actually, my mom should feel
I'm
super
23.
old.
I'm 23. I feel super old.
My mom has had every Game Boy since its inception and still has them.
I don't want to be an adult yet.
The Game Boy can legally rent a car now.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
jeez. Like, if I ever grew legs and decided it wanted to travel the, Jersey area, it could do
It's
that.
actually really.
It was getting off a plane from Japan, really jet lagged.
Yep.
Just say, you know what? I don't want to get a taxi. I want to rent a car.
Yep.
That might be easier. They worked it through with the Nintendo,
Yep.
PR. They were like, okay, we'll get you a car in Jersey when you arrive.
Yep.
It's stick shift. And the Game Boy doesn't know how to drive stick shift.
That should
It's
be
just a
movie.
big mess.
That should just be a movie in and of itself.
Yeah. I mean, the Game Boy has really been the only recurring thing in Nintendo. I mean, it changes now to the DS, but
It's
still,
the biggest
But it's still the
constant.
Game Boy.
it's the constant thing in
Yeah.
Nintendo.
That's what
Nintendo
started
has.
Nintendo's handheld.
Yeah,
pretty much.
and they've actually been the strongest in handheld gaming. So
Well, there's really not that many others. Like, I feel like a lot of companies won't
It's not
bother
else
making a
worth doing.
handheld system because they don't want to compete with
I mean,
it.
Sony's been doing okay with
Yeah,
theirs.
the Vita was cool. I had the original PSP.
I have the original PSP and the Vita, and I love the Vita.
I actually have not had any like real time with the Vita. My friend had one, and I like
It's
toyed on
pretty
it a
fun.
little bit.
It's pretty fun. I mean, it could be a little bit better, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the Nintendo DS. It's been. Oh man, I'm 23, and it's like, oh god. I remember playing the original Star Wars games on the handheld.
I had
The
those.
Super Star Wars
I had
games that were
those.
platformers. Oh
Yeah.
Yes,
I had the
I had
Return
those.
of
even the
Jedi
Star
one.
Wars: A New Hope. When
Oh,
they had the Star Wars: A New
wow.
Hope video game, yeah.
I remember. Oh wait, I can't talk about my favorite memory.
Yeah,
yet.
don't talk
Well,
about
actually,
your
no. This isn't my favorite memory. I remember the first ever cheat code I ever got from somebody was for I think the first Mega Man game on Game Boy, and my friend gave it to me. And to this day, I still don't know what that cheat code actually did. I just knew it worked. I just didn't know what it actually did.
You could even just Google
I
it
beat
now.
the game.
Yeah, I just Googled
I
it.
don't know how, but
I don't know what. I actually never beat it. I actually did not beat that game.
I wish they had more games like Mega Man, for handheld now. I mean, they're all now console based. Like Mega Man's now console based.
Which I feel like is a real travesty.
I mean, they're still hard. I mean, Mega Man's still really hard and fun, but it's
Yeah.
Well,
but-
I think I remember that whatever Mega Man studio was planning on doing ports onto the 3DS download shop or whatever.
That might be cool.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah, because Mega Man was my shit back in the day.
Who didn't like Mega Man? I mean,
If you didn't,
You know,
you're-
I never
who
really
didn't like
played
Zero
Mega
first
Man.
off?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never really played it.
I never really played it.
When I was younger,
I
what?
never had the chance to play it.
When I was younger, does anybody remember the show Cubics?
Yes.
I used to think that Cubics was like Mega Man's older brother because I had both the dolls. And I was like, "Come here, Mega Man." Okay, Cubics. And
Oh man.
yeah, I had no
You
friends.
played dolls.
I played action figures.
There's a
dolls.
Yeah, Mega Man isn't a doll.
Yeah, Mega Man is not a doll.
Hey. If you admit that you had Barbies when you were little, that's okay.
I didn't have a Barbie, but I did have a.
I had Barbies only because my Ninja Turtles needed bitches.
Hey, you needed an April O'Neil. You needed. No, I didn't have. What was the guy from Mulan? The
Hun?
No, the good guy. I forget his name.
I don't
You're never
remember.
Sure, right?
Yeah, that guy.
General Dong or whatever.
Whatever. I had two dolls of a GI Joe and him, and I would make them get into like epic traditional American boxing style versus kung fu style fights, and it would be epic. Like I would go throughout the entire house having them jump off and stuff, and it was crazy until I threw them in the air and I like ripped the GI Joe's head off.
Speaking about my GI Joes, like I would just recreate like all these action movies, scenes from action movies, but then I realized what my sister did. She recreated Titanic.
Oh, and that you have to burn them all.
She had I walk in and in the one room I remember I'm walking in and there she is with my one Ninja Turtle action figure, one of the turtles. And
Please tell me he wasn't Jack.
No, he was Jack. And then I think it was Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe. She's like, "Don't let go, Jack." Like this. I was like, "No,
I'll never let go, pizza.
Moving on.
Yeah. My sister probably doesn't remember that, but still.
I don't think she wants to.
I remember.
Oh man!
All right.
Childhood. Oh, another thing too is they're making a new Flash Gordon movie.
I know really nothing of Flash Gordon.
You've seen the movie Ted, right?
Ted? A little bit, yeah.
Then you know Flash Gordon. Sam Jones.
That's
okay.
Yeah, Sam Jones. But remember that? I think it's the best scene in the whole movie where they're having the party and they're getting hot. They're getting hot, doing cocaine and all that stuff with Sam Jones.
Oh,
and
no,
Flash
I
Gordon.
remember that, yeah.
And then they have that Asian neighbor who he thought was like the bad guy from Flash. He's like, death to me.
Fought the guy in his duck.
Oh no!
But no, Flash Gordon. I grew up on watching some of the reruns of the '80s show on TV. I think they had like a cartoon in the '90s. But
What's the guy's name? Made that? Seth? Wait, no, not Seth.
you're talking about Ted, the movie Ted?
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. He's coming out with another movie this year,
1,001 Days.
1,000 Ways to Die in the West, and that one looks great.
That seems really bad to me, actually.
Liam Neeson and Neil Patrick Harris are in there. So
See, all right, I feel like this actually confuses me because I'm really trying to picture what Liam Neeson and Neil Patrick Harris would be like on screen together, and I really can't do it. I really can't do it.
Yeah.
Nothing can compare.
Yeah, seriously, like nothing can compare except maybe Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. Maybe that might be somewhat close,
but that turned out really well.
Yeah. So all right.
Yeah. So Flash Gordon is coming back. Sony, I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I'm curious to see what how they're going to make a superhero out of a football player who played for a quarterback for the New York Jets. That's how it is. I mean, the story is the quarterback of the New York. I think it's a quarterback of the New York Jets becomes a superhero of the universe.
I mean, honestly,
it's so over the top. It's like ridiculous.
I'm really happy that they're like digging back and like not doing just contemporary heroes, but like
they're doing Masters of the Universe for Christ's sake.
like they're going back and they're just like, okay, what hasn't been done? At least not in a very long time.
What can we
they made,
screw
don't,
up?
the,
I just hope it doesn't turn out like John Carter.
because like the Masters of the Universe movie never happened.
Yeah.
It does not exist. Well, I'm talking about it now,
Yeah.
but for us fans, it really does not exist.
Yeah, we try to
we try to forget about it.
as fans of things, we try to neglect the things that suck. To this day, I will deny the existence of Spider-Man 3. I will deny that it ever even existed. In my opinion, Tobey Maguire's only played
I'll
Peter
tell you
Parker
this:
twice.
at least James Cameron didn't make Spider-Man, because from what I read about James Cameron doing Spider-Man in the '90s when he was originally going to do it, it seems a lot. I mean, it makes Spider-Man 3 look enjoyable. I mean, it makes it sound like even like you might actually love Spider-Man 3 compared to.
Yeah, honestly, what you told me about that, oh my god.
Yeah, just so you know, I read an article and watched a video that James Cameron was going to do a Spider-Man movie in the '90s, and he had to write the script before
And
they
no
actually.
surprise.
And
It was bad.
It
was bad. Okay, so Dr. Octopus was Professor Octopus.
Yeah, that
he becomes a villain, but because he also gets bit by the same radioactive spider as Peter Parker.
Yet sometimes turns into an octopus.
Yeah, and he turns into and he.
At least he didn't get bitten by a radioactive octopus.
That's what I was thinking you were going to say. I'm like, how do you get bit by an octopus?
Yeah,
He got
He got inked by a radioactive octopus.
But,
Oh no!
Yeah.
But they call him Professor Octopus, and
Right.
there's this, and he also he goes insane and thinks he's also Spider-Man.
Oh.
Yeah, like Spider-Man 2 explanation for Dr. Octopus was kind of dumb, but at the same
It's
time,
better than that.
at the same time, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he
It's like,
he was
oh,
actually,
robot arms are controlling his thoughts now.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
and he's also Doctor Octopus.
Yeah, he's also
Yeah, he's also Dr. Octopus.
The thing
Octopus.
is, that story explanation is still better than the proposed story for Spider-Man 4.
Which was?
The Vulture would be the
Vulture
Vultress.
And the
Oh, yeah.
Vultress.
Yeah, wait, wasn't it like his daughter
Yeah.
becomes the vault?
Who was it?
Black
Felicia
Cat
Hardy.
was going to become part of another love triangle between Peter, Mary Jane, and Gwen Stacy makes a comeback. But
Oh,
yeah.
God. What?
And Carnage would have been in it.
See, the funny thing...
Oh, now you mentioned that. So I was kind of so much.
Funny thing, I
I
forget...
probably would have saved it.
I forget whether it was right after Spider-Man 2, right after Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, I forget. But Sony on the Spider-Man website put up a poll, and they're like, what villain would you like to see in the next movie? It was like Carnage, Electro, Venom,
Mysterio?
and Mysterio. And they neglected all 4 options and just went with Dr. Octopus. So I'm like, way to tell your fans, hey, we're going to let you have an input, but it doesn't matter. So
Man, why didn't they go with Venom and Carnage for a Spider-Man 3?
that would have been too much
That would have
in
been
one movie.
That would have been too cool.
Like no, because like you have to go through an entire initial introduction and then fight for Venom, then watch Venom go to jail, then watch Carnage get created, and then have an initial fight with just Carnage. And then
knowing
Hey,
Hollywood,
that's what they did with Two-Face in The Dark Knight.
True.
That's exactly what they did.
But like his turn to villain wasn't going to be that long of a process.
Yeah.
You're now with that kind of proposal. You're doing
unless
a
they
villain.
changed it where the meteor actually crashed both at the jail and where Eddie Brock was, and
Oh god, that would have been terrible.
but knowing
God.
Sony, that's probably what they could have done.
Yeah, they would have did it. They would have done that.
But if anything, they should have used Mysterio. Mysterio is one villain I would love to see on the screen.
I feel like it would have been too much of a comedy and not as much of an action movie
Hey,
because
don't
no one takes him
underestimate Fishbowl Head.
But still, just the fact that had that little humor into it, though. I mean, with that, because it's Peter Parker's personality.
I feel like he would have been great. Like, don't you know? Like, there's some parts of movies where like you're witnessing like the hero grow up and then sees like some of the other villains he has to fight.
Mm-hmm.
They could have threw Mysterio in there. Like, if the movie's based around Peter Parker versus the Green Goblin, before the Green Goblin actually makes an appearance, have him fighting some villains, and then like make maybe a 10-minute scene involving him fighting Mysterio. That would have been cool and hilarious. I would
Okay,
love
so
to see it.
I do want to mention I was able to see. I'm not going to say how,
Yeah, don't say how.
but I did watch Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I actually enjoyed it.
What you thought? You say it like you thought you wouldn't. You said
No,
I was highly surprised I liked this movie.
I was.
You were surprised you liked it?
I was actually. I mean, as much as I did, liked it as much as I did. I was.
Okay.
I mean, I had somewhat mixed reactions because of the clouding, the amount of villains that they're teasing, and
Yeah, because they
so much you can do in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, they essentially from the trailers they basically introduced the entire Sinister Six in a
Well, half of them.
Well, half of them. Well, like no, you actually see the Sinister Six embody only 3 of them,
Yeah.
but you see
The
like,
teasing for
You see the teasing
And
for all of them.
I'll
That
tell you
was like-
now. I'll tell you now. Rhino is more of a cameo. Is a cameo villain,
You
and
can see that from the trailer.
Yeah,
he's very
so.
cameo-like. And
There's
it's
only
very,
like a couple shots they show of Rhino, so I
He
assumed
got
it was
it
just going to be like a
so,
beginning fight.
So,
Right.
and it actually
3 minutes of
worked
action.
perfectly. The
Right.
cameo, Paul Giamatti is the Rhino, even though he's in a mech suit. It is awesome.
I mean,
Like it was great. Like I actually like the fact I was very skeptical of Paul Giamatti doing the Rhino. I could see him as somebody else, maybe like Mysterio, but I could see him
that's
as
a good- that's
I
a
would
good
see
one.
him. I would
That's a
see
good
him more
one.
as Mysterio,
Right.
But I don't see him as the Rhino. But the way he played this Russian mobster and the way how he becomes Rhino, it worked very well. And I thought,
perfect example of who should have been the Rhino. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rourke.
No. If
Oh
you
my
see this kind of
gosh.
I
Rhino,
don't like Mickey
I mean,
Rourke.
he might have looked.
Mickey
apart.
Rourke was really goofy in
But-
Iron Man 2.
But I feel like he could. My birth. That was the best part of the movie.
Sam
My
Rockwell
birth.
stole the show in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
He was better. He was much better than fucking Mickey Rourke.
I just
My
love
blood.
it. My
My blood.
My blood.
My blood.
Sure, we can
Rashid,
Yes.
I want my blood.
Like
want my blood.
this really old salty boxer just trying to speak Russian is just like
Paul Giamatti actually
what are
nailed a
you
Russian
doing?
accent.
Oh, we really did?
He did a Russian accent. It wasn't the
Wow.
greatest accent.
It was better than you expected.
It was better than Rourke's, and it actually had humor to the character, which I think was the point. It was supposed to be a humorous character, not.
I mean, because I've never saw the Rhino as much as I've read Spider-Man. I have never actually saw the Rhino as a real villain.
Yeah,
I always
he's
thought
more.
this is somebody who was
He's
there.
not really.
He's kind of like the Toilinator from Kids Next Door. He just shows up, kind of messes stuff up. No one takes him serious, and he just goes away.
That's how it was. Like,
Yeah.
They play downplaying him, but they kind of teased something more
There
for social stuff.
was like an alternate thing in the comics where the Rhino underwent an experiment and became really intelligent, and that he was actually somewhat of a decent villain.
And he
so he
went, "My
became
boy."
Bane.
His son became Bane.
Actually, he ended up
An actual
becoming-
good, really muscly.
He ended up becoming a crime
Bane with
lord,
a
and
Russian
decided, You know
accent?
what? I don't want to be smart anymore, and then he became dumb again.
What? Oh.
It's-
Yeah.
Actually, I read more about Electro because of this movie. Like, I know,
I'll tell you now, Jamie Foxx was actually pretty decent. He wasn't bad, but he
Yeah.
wasn't great. I mean,
But
his
then-
character was downplayed a lot.
Yeah.
And I love the trailers really make it out like that he doesn't like Spider-Man because he doesn't remember his name. That is not the case. I want to assure you that that's not the case.
when I pictured Electro, I thought of one actor, but I was conflicted because this one actor could do Electro as well as Carnage. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey
That's
is
what I
I
Electro.
don't see him.
No, I see him more as Shocker.
No, not Shocker. First off, Shocker's a terrible villain.
Is a joke villain. Okay?
Yes.
Jim Carrey would be a
in
great
the first-
shocker.
in the
And by
first-
great shocker, I mean
a terrible
who
shocker.
uses shocker.
Right. Like, seriously, in the first Spider-Man game, he's the first villain that you have to fight, and the hardest part about fighting Shocker
Oh my
isn't
God.
fighting Shocker, it's
That was the
getting to
worst
him
part about
through the
that
subway
movie.
system. Like, that move, just the Shocker in general just made me angry. I'm like, the
that
Shocker?
game was bad.
Actually, I liked it.
Spider-Man 2 was better.
I liked it only because I had the cheat codes and I could play as the Green Goblin.
That
And
too,
I
yeah.
thought that was really cool.
You could play through the entire story as
Mm.
James Franco Green Goblin.
In Spider-Man 3?
No, in Spider-Man 1.
What?
Yeah. Well, they did. You were playing as the Green Goblin,
Right.
Willem Dafoe Green Goblin,
Right.
but it was the voice of James Franco, Harry Osborn. And he was like, "I found the Green Goblin suit. What the hell is this?"
What?
Yeah.
I never noticed that. Now I have to dust up my old PS2, like try to
And
find.
it's really weird because there's one level in Spider-Man 1 where you
You
have to fight the Green Goblin.
I remember
So,
that.
so Harry Osborn Goblin's like, "Who are you? My dad's dead." And the Green Goblin guy is like, "I'm not your dad."
What? Oh my
Really
god.
messed up.
Honestly, like the best part of the entire first movie, the game and the movie, was it came on the other day and it reminded me. The scene where Norman Osborn is booted out of Oscorp is like, you know how much I sacrificed? And I just laughed so hard because, like, I just could not, because Willem Dafoe's face after he says it looks like a small child who got something taken away from him and he's about to cry.
That's
Like-
pretty much what happened.
Okay, if you get a chance, watch Everything Wrong with Spider-Man in 12 minutes or less.
Oh, God.
They go through.
Oh, no.
They go through and they do, and they keep on talking about William Dafoe all the time.
I can see that.
And but like when Peter Parker's looking through a camera, and when he's turning in photos to Jane Jonah Jameson, it's like, the only person, the narrator's like, the only really person who can actually take these pictures is Peter Parker, who is actually Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I feel like the comic book universe is filled up of idiots. Because it would be so easy to piece together who is who. Gee, this guy that I've been friends for this guy that I've been friends with for years suddenly disappears, and all of a sudden Spider-Man shows up. What a coincidence! And then Peter comes back. You missed it. He was just here. Like, come on, man.
And James and I were actually talking about Man of Steel. They made it so obvious that Clark Kent was Superman. Like Lois Lane, after the fighting with Zod, and he goes back to his home, she takes police cars with her to the Kent farm and meets. And I'm like,
well, I think after the Silver Age, and also after dumb writing.
After dumb writing.
I think like people actually understand that the idea that Clark Kent is totally not Superman is a dumb thing to try and imitate anymore.
Yeah, because you got to figure it out.
Like I'm fairly sure most current like viewings of of Lois Lane and Clark Kent is that Lois Lane totally knows, but she always calls him Clark.
Except that's actually another reason of the many reasons why I hate Return of Superman. When she finds out that like her son and she's like, what? Like, you had no clue? Really? You slept with this man and you had no clue? You know
shouldn't you have been dead? You should have been dead from sleeping with this man?
Like seriously, your pelvis was shattered in 37 places and you had no clue he was Superman? Like, are you kidding me?
The only funny lampshading of, like, secret identities in the movies is from the bad Green Lantern movie.
Oh my god.
Where the only Green Lantern movie?
Yeah, that Green Lantern movie.
Which is on TV all the time.
I forget what Green Lantern's girlfriend is.
Oh yeah, she was like,
I've seen you naked.
You think I don't know you?
You think I don't know it's you because I can't see your cheekbones.
Yeah, that's
amusing. That's really funny.
Good. I like that. Actually, I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this. I actually did not hate the Green Lantern movie.
I didn't hate it.
I'm such a fan of Ryan Reynolds.
It's not bad.
It could have been better.
It just doesn't really stand out in any way, though.
It's just it's decent, but it's not great.
It's the kind of movie.
It's not what he should have got. It's not what he deserved.
It's the kind of movie where you'd watch it if it's on TV, but that's
it's on TV all the time.
Yeah. Thank you, FX.
Yeah.
Thank you so
all right.
much.
So okay. But anyways, we're going to talk more about Spider-Man later when everybody else sees the movie. But I just wanted to give some personal thoughts. Right. Oh, and Dane DeHaan as the Green Goblin, perfect casting.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
So, anyways,
he does. Was he in the Chronicle?
Yeah, he was the guy from Chronicle.
So he's good at playing an insane character.
Yeah, he's really good at playing an insane character. But another blast from the past. Mario Golf is coming.
What?
Mario Golf is coming.
Oh no!
Mario Golf.
You know what?
I hated Mario Golf.
I'm real. I don't have a Wii U. I don't have a 3DS. I'm real excited for that.
Why? Why don't they bring like Mario Tennis? That's something I want to see.
I played Mario Golf 64. I played Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
Toadstool Tour.
That's the GameCube one.
Yeah.
And you know what? Both of them are surprisingly good. The second one is real bullshit. It does a lot of cheating. It's like, oh, the wind is going to the right, and then it just, if you compensate, it just swings to the left for no reason. I'm like,
Well, the reason I bring this up is because also it's going to be doing something that is a first for Nintendo. They're actually going to get a season pass for all the DLC. Which
I'm curious as to what is DLC for Mario Golf, other than I guess courses.
And maybe like surprise characters.
Maybe.
Sonic.
Oh God, no! Right, can we just make a rule to never team up Mario with Sonic again? Like, can we just drop that for the rest of the time?
But they had such a good time at the London Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was terrible.
He's actually great. He was a great character in Brawl. He's making return in the next Smash Bros. Game, so I'm excited.
You have to include Sonic in every Smash game. Like that's one thing.
He wasn't bad at Smash.
He was a guest character, and now he's just become a character.
Is Snake going to be?
I'm about to say, can we not?
No, I don't think so.
Man, I love Snakes.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I like Snake.
Good.
He
was a great character, but he was really awkward to play as. He was so different.
His
Really
super
overpowered.
his smash was kind of dumb to me though. Like all of a sudden he's like too good. No, it wasn't that. It was like when he's on the helicopter.
His smash was pretty overpowered.
It was good. I liked it.
Because
but-
it's now a Nintendo exclusive. Why not have Bayonetta?
His Bayonetta
Because
doesn't
that is-
fit at all. Snake is really funny because, like,
Yeah, I know.
because
But plus,
Metal Gear
Bayonetta is
really
an adult character.
canny.
I was about to say, but
One is a box.
No.
If you drop the box on someone, you can kill them.
yeah, let's. This is the main reason why Bayonetta cannot be in the new Smash game. Too much.
Well, because
boobs.
because her hair is covering her body as her
Zero
clothes.
Suit Samus.
Huh?
Yeah, Zero
Okay,
Suit
that's
Samus
there you
has
go.
the boobs.
The boobs.
The boobs.
Best one-on-one fight in Smash history: Bayonetta versus Zero Suit Samus.
Oh,
I want to
my
see
gosh.
this.
Also known as
Boob everywhere.
Samus.
What?
Also known as Xamus.
Zamus.
But yeah,
and it would be, we'll call it Boob Mania.
Boob Mania. Oh god. Like that should be like if Nintendo ever starts doing achievements, that would be one. That battle right there, and they would just get an achievement for putting them in the same arena together, and then just boob.
Well, they're too
Smash
family
Sisters.
Huh?
They're too family friendly.
Screw family friendly.
Yeah.
The last game was rated T. Like I'm still trying to wrap.
Well,
it
they've
up
only
why it was
the only
T.
rated M games they've done is the Resident
wasn't it
Evil.
rated T because one of Snake's moves was to basically snap a character's neck?
Yeah, one of them did he like sneak up on us like that and just drop him?
Snake would CQC the shit out of everyone.
Right.
He
He's
was
the
honestly one of my
CQC
favorite
master.
characters.
No, it was
He
rated
took out a
T
realistic
for
launcher.
cartoon violence, which I guess was that. And like
What about Resident Evil? I mean,
Other aspect
yeah, I mean,
of
Resident
the
Evil
game.
was a rated M Nintendo game.
And
Yeah.
for sexual content, which was like how I guess.
Samus.
It was Samus.
Samus. It was Samus.
It sure as hell wasn't Peach.
Well, it's not.
Could it have been Sheik?
Yeah, I mean, Sheik is sort of form fitting, but
Yeah.
I think Samus.
Samus-
If you really think about it, though, the EBA and the MPAA, for two different mediums, pretty much have double standards.
Hey, really?
Yeah.
I was talking about this with James earlier today too. I was looking at movies and why they're rated a certain rating, and I was looking at my movie Twister, and I was like, why is this PG-13?
Twister?
Twister, yeah. But it says it's rated
what?
PG. It's rated PG-13 because it has intense weather action.
We've talked about this before.
What? Well, I'm sorry. Pause.
Wasn't RoboCop PG?
What, RoboCop was PG, but can we discuss this real quick?
Yes.
What the hell is intense weather action?
I
What
don't
the
know.
hell is that? So if they ever do a Hurricane Katrina movie, it's gonna get the same rating.
Yeah,
Like,
man. Intense.
This is from the
weather.
'90s though too. So.
but like intense. Whoa, you were gonna corrupt your kids' minds with hurricane winds. And,
So there's this new movie coming out called Into the Storm or something like that, and it's
Yeah.
about like a bunch of tornadoes. It looks like Twister, look like
Oh.
gonna-
Child's Play.
Oh,
and
God.
they actually have a fire tornado in the movie.
What?
A tornado, a tanker blows up, and the whole tornado is
catches on fire.
Yeah.
All right, that actually seems kind of cool. I'm not
And,
gonna lie.
and I could just picture what the rating is: PG-13 for intense
Intense
weather
weather
action. This is the second time used in the MPAA history.
It might be the third though, because you know if Sharknado like gets a little bit more bigger, it might
No,
get
well,
the-
that's
Sharknado
TV
2.
ratings.
Oh,
That's
yes.
TV ratings.
I wish they could make it at the theater.
Well,
Sharknado 2.
they're doing one night only events at movie theaters,
Yeah.
but it's considered non-rated.
Oh, speaking of, is there going to be a Ghost Shark movie? Is Ghost Shark already out? Have you guys heard of Ghost Shark?
No.
No.
Ghost Shark. Oh my god.
Tell
It
me
is
more.
What can Sci-Fi Channel come up with next?
It is the spirit of a shark that can emerge from any water anywhere. And they showed trailers of it. A kid like on a slip and slide, the shark forms out of the water and like kills the kid. These guys are at a water cooler at work. Ghost Shark pops out. This guy is literally not doing anything. Apparently, he formed in the water in his body and split him in half. Ghost Shark.
What
Yeah,
about
if we're on the topic of bad sci-fi movies, I remember, like, 5 years back,
Yeah.
I saw a movie on sci-fi called Abominable. It was about-
The Abominable Snowman?
yeah.
Oh
Which
yeah.
that's-
Literally at one point, the abominable snowman comes up, grabs a man's head on the side, and they cut to the man's face, and it looks like it's replaced by a cantaloupe, and he crushes the man's head. It looks so bad, it's wonderful.
Oh, no!
Let's see here. Do you remember the movie Piranha?
Yeah.
And Piranha 3 Double D.
Yeah.
What's next? Piranha
thought-
3 Triple D.
No, wait, Piranha.
That's not real.
It wasn't
thank God.
Piranha. Anaconda had Ice Cube in it.
Yeah,
okay, you know what?
I mean, they kept on making Anaconda movies. They still have Anaconda movies being made.
No, because, all right, because
Straight
the
to
first,
DVD.
The first Anaconda movie was okay. I kind of liked it.
J-Lo,
J-Lo.
when she was back and hot.
Yeah.
J-Lo was sexy back then.
That wasn't Christopher Walken. Was that Christopher?
No,
not
that was
Christopher
John
Walken.
Voight.
Yeah, that was John Voight. That was pretty cool. And then like
Freaky as hell when he came out of he was spit up and
Yeah,
then
but, like,
he just winks.
yeah, but like he had like this weird intertwined like love fest with the Anaconda itself. That was cool. But then, and first off, there's only one movie that works off a plural of the first one, and that's Alien and then Aliens.
Yep.
Anaconda then Anacondas was terrible.
Anaconda.
And then it was Anaconda Search for the Blood Orchid.
That was the only second theatrical release.
Wait,
The
isn't
first two-
Anaconda a singular noun that is singular when it's plural?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
deer?
Yeah,
So,
so-
Anaconda, there's a group of Anaconda, and then but what the hell is an Anacondas? That was,
But they
Anacondas.
Yeah,
It's
so
one of the
they
Anacondas.
have Anaconda, Anacondas, and then they had Anaconda Search for the Blood Orchid, which was the second theatrical release.
Right.
And then since then, the only two, besides the other two, all of them have been straight to DVD. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Anaconda, what are they going to come up with next? Anacondas in space.
Anacondas. You're just gonna see like a weird, like shapeless, like a spacesuit, and then like they're gonna do like a pan shot to like the helmet, and you just see like a snake head pop through. It's like,
Or no, you'll have like
Anacondas have infiltrated the International Space Station.
Snakes on the space station.
Samuel Jackson has to make an appearance.
I was like, I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking spaceship.
And then he gets eaten.
But no,
I think it's like against all movie rules to let Sam Jackson die.
It's the near.
Deep Blue
Okay,
Sea, I
it's
mean,
the
he
near
died.
future.
After giving that
Oh,
big,
no.
huge speech, remember in Deep Blue Sea, he makes this huge ass speech,
Oh,
and then all of a
so
sudden
tragic.
the shark just comes out of fucking. I was like,
Grabbed him. But like it bent in a way that sharks can't bend. It went up and then bent over it and stuff like it had a waist, and then bit him and then dragged him back down.
that was the year 2000.
All right. I got an idea. Anaconda producers, you can take this from me free. This one's free.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to pay for the other ones though.
Yeah, no. It's the near future,
Okay.
2088.
Hey, that's what they consider near future.
Apparently.
Earth has colonized the moon.
Oh my god, this is gonna be terrible.
Unfortunately,
Oh.
a shipment of space food and supplies has been mistaken for a zoological shipment of massive anacondas.
Oh god. So
It's up to Hulk Hogan
Who somehow survived.
yeah, who has somehow
and
survived.
Ice Cube
Oh god.
Ice Cube coming back from the grave.
to kill all of the
them.
anacondas.
Oh
on the
no.
news.
Ice Cube would be
Space
what in his
station.
like 90s or like 100 and something
Yeah.
years.
Can we please like have a cameo of Rosie Perez just in the movie?
When
Oh.
you're being strangled by an anaconda, no one can hear you scream.
Which is actually probably true.
And out of nowhere, xenomorphs mate with the anacondas, and you have.
Oh god. Oh, this is so
Okay, so
We should
moving on.
probably
Okay,
keep going.
okay, moving on.
frightening nauseous.
Moving on.
Let's turn this into a full-on Anaconda podcast.
Okay, speaking of sequels,
Welcome to Geek Talk, the annual Anaconda
episode.
fan podcast.
All right, moving on, and still talking about sequels.
Alright.
Resident Evil 6 has gotten the new title, according to the director, Resident Evil Rising, and it's going to come out next year. And it's
So
going to be
Rising.
it's going to be in 3D.
Again?
Yes.
Again?
Does it still have Mila Jovovich because she still
Yes.
wants the job?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and here's the
She's
thing.
still
Here's the
looking
thing.
bad.
When the director announced the title, people are still curious if it's not supposed to be Resident Evil Rising or Rising Resident Evil because
What?
Rising Resident Evil?
Because when he was
makes no sense
when he made
either.
the interview, when he did the interview, he's like, "Yeah, we're calling it." He's like, "It's called Rising Resident Evil," and I'm like, "Okay, so." People are speculating
It might be Rising, comma, Resident Evil.
or vice
colon,
versa, or
whatever.
it might have accidentally.
Resident Rising Evil. I don't know.
I don't know, but
Those
at the
movies
same
are
time,
garbage.
this was at WonderCon too
Similar.
this weekend when they talked about it. because he talked about it at WonderCon this weekend, and people were like, "Why? Why are you doing another movie? Because the last one sucked."
Because he hates himself.
I
And he hates everyone around.
I mean, Pompeii sucked. I mean, out of nowhere, it sucked so bad out of nowhere.
But everyone
tried to
thought
get-
it was going to be so good.
No, they didn't.
I know a lot of people that I talked to were like, "This movie's going to be amazing."
And then they
I'm like,
come out and their dreams are gone.
Spoiler alert, they all die.
I'm so sick of movies of like historical events or like okay,
And they fictionalize them.
this is a big reason why I did not want to see first off, I didn't want to see Passion of the Christ when it first came out because I was a pussy. And when the movie came out, a lady had a heart attack watching it and died, and I thought that was going to happen to me.
Nice.
And then the second reason was
Happy Easter, everybody!
Happy Easter.
Well, late Easter.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then the second one was because I'm like, I know the story. He dies at the end. He comes back.
I was when that movie came out, like 2003, 2004. I sat through like a 2 hours worth of torture in that movie. I liked the movie, but it was just like at 13 and 14 years old, I'm like,
You're not trying to see all this.
yeah, it's like when I took me and my grandmother. We didn't know what it was. We went to see Hostel in theaters.
It's Mel Gibson.
Oh, you took your grandmother to see Hostel?
We didn't even know what it was. And
It's
we're
a
like,
movie called Hostel that sounds a lot like Hostile. What did you think?
I was young and naive, and my grandmother's like, okay, let's go see this.
Yeah, wasn't like the poster for it like a
We
bone
didn't even see.
saw?
Yes.
We didn't even see a poster or anything. All we did was like, okay, this sounds like interesting.
No.
Hostel. So let's go see
Sounds
this.
interesting.
So let's go see it. So we get in the movie and there's like sex. I'm here with my grandmother beside me. I'm like,
How did your grandmother react?
she's like, can we leave? And I'm like, I paid $10 for this movie.
I paid $10 goddamn dollars. I'm not going anywhere.
Even though
Yeah.
how bad the acting is,
I
how
don't care.
perky her tits are.
I'm seeing this movie. God damn it.
I've never actually walked out of a movie before.
Well, I did
The
actually.
closest I was to Expendables 2.
Actually, you know what? I walked out of
Soul
Meet the
Surfer.
Spartans.
I walked out of
Good call.
Yes, I walked.
Good call.
At 13.
Did you even
When-
walk out a date movie?
No, I didn't see Dave.
Thank God.
No,
When
but
I saw Ted, there were an elderly couple, like 3 seats in front of me and my friends watching the movie, and the part where Ted was like having sex with the girl, or like says like, "Yeah, I fucked her with a piece of garlic or whatever," and then the old man just like gets up and leaves.
Oh. They probably thought it was just going to be some like
It's
fun
about 10
kiddie movie.
minutes,
Yeah.
you know?
They kind of had that style in the beginning of the movie. It was like with Patrick Stewart narrating.
I mean, yeah, sure. My thing is, all right, when apparently, backtracking to my experience walking out of a movie, apparently I was such a, like no 13-year-old can ever say they're a movie connoisseur. They just like movies and they want to go. Apparently, I knew enough about movies that at the age of 13, I said, this movie is utter bullshit. I walked out and I demanded my money back.
You gotta have standards, man.
Yeah, understand.
I'm a stubborn guy, and I never really want to walk out of a movie, even though because I paid for it. And
Yeah.
most theaters, they were like, "We're not giving your money back."
Yeah.
So either way, so I'm like,
I feel like after the first 30 minutes, they
yeah,
won't give you your money back.
yeah.
That's
But sometimes
usually
you
how-
can't.
yeah.
But sometimes you can't always tell if a movie's bad at the first 30 minutes.
I feel like
Oh.
movies intentionally make it bad after 31 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh,
So-
well, you already paid.
no.
Okay, so
You know,
but I
I'm-
should have
I'm-
learned my lesson because this past January I saw a movie called Legend of Hercules. I'd rather put my hand in a blender than see that fucking shit again. I'd rather have somebody force me to commit suicide than see that movie again.
And not just any suicide, Japanese ritual suicide. I'm
Seppuku.
talking seppuku here.
Seppuku, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
no,
I
I'm
mean,
actually-
but
I'm
it
actually
was even
wrong.
worse than 47 Ronin because I go in this 47 Ronin.
47 Ronin. You saw that?
Yes,
Was
I
it
actually,
good?
actually, I was like, I go in the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, I'm probably going to regret this, but I had a free ticket anyway, so why the fuck
Alright,
not?
alright.
So
You got
I
some
go,
time to
and
go.
I sat through it. It's a rental.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's something you're not
It's a
gonna
guilty.
buy
It's a guilty pleasure.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
you want to hate it, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much you want to have Keanu Reeves like pulling all Neo shit on you throughout the movie, you're like,
Mhm.
I hate this movie. Oh, I like it. No, I go
Exactly
back
how-
and forth throughout the whole damn movie. But
Exactly how I feel about that other Keanu Reeves movie that I forget with the bus. Speed. There we go.
Speed.
That's how I feel about Speed. I will not admit to anyone that I like
the
that
only
movie.
good things Keanu Reeves is good for is either
There's
The
nothing
Matrix.
wrong with liking Speed, man.
That is actually
Out
a
of
really
context,
decent.
you know.
That is
Yeah,
actually
out
a
of
pretty
context.
good.
Speed
That's
is a
actually a
wonderful
pretty
thing.
good action movie
I don't think I like
for the
Sandra
'90s.
Bullock in her bowl cut.
It's a highlight of the '90s.
Oh yeah, Sandra Bullock isn't a good actress, but yeah,
I always thought she wasn't a terrible actress.
But anyways,
she's not a good actor.
So I just
Not
can only
terrible, but
imagine
she's
what
not
this
good.
next Resident Evil movie is going to be, because the last shot of the last Resident Evil 5, whatever the fuck that title was.
What the fuck is Rising? What is it? What's Rising here?
Apparently Wesker's president now.
I guess yeah, West
And
probably.
of the world. I mean,
There's
at the
nothing
end,
to rule.
You know what?
he's
You know
at
what?
the
I'll
end
give-
of the first movie, end of the fifth movie. It has Wesker, who's now president. He's on top of the White House with Alice, Ada, and everybody else. They all team up together to take down Umbrella, who is still surviving, and he's not part of Umbrella anymore for some unknown reason. And the last shot is of them panning out from the White House in a war zone of DC, and it has like all like the Ouroboros. They have those like flying things from like the fifth game and the
I'm
sixth.
done.
Yeah, they have
I'm
them
done.
flying, and they're playing hard rock music, and then you just see him as like Alice says, "It begins," and then you just have Adam Wesker. He's like, "We're gonna fight to our last breath. We're gonna take down Umbrella," and then it pans out, and then it cuts to black.
No, we can't.
The one
Because
thing-
this movie is gonna be.
I think we should end with this. The one thing I love about Resident Evil is that it is so bad it loops around to being amazing,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
it goes around and it's halfway to bad again.
And then it just
Because-
takes a little bit to being good.
Literally everything they do with Wesker is gold.
Yes,
I love
Wesker. Wesker is like the only thing that makes a Resident Evil movie really, really worth it. Like Mila Jovovich, whatever the hell her name
Mila-
is.
Her husband is the director.
Yeah,
Of course, so
That's
she
how.
made it.
That's how she's got the role.
But she's okay to a point for like kick-ass section and boob section. Great, but Wesker makes this movie.
You know
if
what?
you say
who made
that
the fifth-
Wesker is president,
I'm
I am
feeling-
sold.
But he's not really in the fifth movie that much. But the character that really plays, who's like the best character in the fifth movie, is Barry Burton. Barry Burton makes an appearance,
God.
and he is fucking awesome.
Wait, I thought the last movie had like an extended fight scene between Chris Redfield and Adam Wesker. No,
Nope.
Was that
Nope.
another one before?
I
that?
no.
wish it. No, first off, I hate the guy who played Chris.
The fourth one did. The fourth one did, but Adam Wesker wasn't in the fifth one as much. He was like in the backgrounds, like telling Alice where to go because she's like in some maze in an Umbrella Corporation thing.
Yeah.
And Barry Burton's with Ada Wong and Leon Kennedy, who's actually not half bad.
Well,
he's the guy that plays Leon Kennedy is the guy that plays Jamie Lannister.
Wait, who was the
Yeah.
guy who played Chris Weston?
He was on Prison Break.
That
That's all.
guy, I hate him.
He's not good.
I hate his face. I hate everything he's ever done. I hate it. I'm in love. If anyone doesn't know this, I'm in love with the TV show Law and Order SVU. There's not many episodes that I will not watch. But that one, where he's in it, is the one. Because everything he says has to be dramatic. And he always has to squint. Even if it's fucking nighttime. Like, it's dark outside and you're
He's also
squinting.
nonchalant. Like he's just like so like he's so monotone.
I feel like he
everything
was
he
like
does.
when he was like a 5-year-old, like, Mom, I want my apple juice. Like bullshit.
But he's in the same tone in his voice every time. He's like,
He's never yelled.
yeah, he's like, let me out and I will help you.
Yeah.
Or he's like Keanu Reeves. He's like the Keanu Reeves of Resident Evil. If
You know what?
think
And,
about it.
I'm really trying to think of every Keanu Reeves movie
But
that I've
I mean,
ever
I'm talking
watched.
about more of like Matrix, where
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
very like he's like all monotone throughout the movie.
Because I was gonna say the only time I've ever seen any
Bill
kind of
and Ted.
inflection in Keanu Reeves' voice is Bill and Ted.
Whoa.
Whoa. But even then, like all of a sudden, next movie, whoa, like this is so intense. I'm on a bus with Sandra Bullock, and I don't know what to do. Like that's him. Like all right,
Okay.
moving on.
Yeah. Let's see. Netflix is raising the prices for new members.
How much?
Well, current members aren't getting their price range, but they haven't announced
Perfect.
how much. We're not going to get it yet. We're gonna have probably like a year until we get the right, or a few months. But right now, as of now, the new members are gonna.
And it's very likely that if your subscription lapses at any time,
They're gonna do it then.
That you have to pay the new membership then. So,
I mean, as long as new shit comes with this like additional price, then I'm okay with it. Like if we get better movies. Even though a lot of the movies aren't on there,
Bring Batman the animated series.
I think they're trying to.
Exactly.
I think they're trying to justify it by saying that this is just a necessary price adjustment.
Plus,
why? You're making money.
Plus, they're also making their own TV shows now. So
yeah. Okay, I know that makes sense.
Because they also have to kind of fund that.
Well, how much? But
I don't think product placement can only go so far.
Product placement only goes so far.
yeah. Have they like said what the price is going to be?
No, I'm probably going to say probably $1 or more.
I think it's
I'll
$9.
take that.
I think it might be $9.99 now instead of $8. Or
$10
is it
a
7 or
month.
8?
It's $8.
Yeah,
$8.
it's probably going to be like $1 or $2.
$10 a month still is a pretty damn good price.
Yeah, compared to at least you're not paying like a cable
prices.
That's
for,
only $120 a year,
because you're
which is a great price.
because
for what
paying
you get.
cable subscription to watch HBO. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not doing that and stuff like that. So
For instance, my friend's family, they don't have cable. They just have a TV that has Wi-Fi capabilities, and they just have Netflix.
Yeah.
They seem to get along just fine without it.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty much my college life.
yeah, essentially.
and
Yeah.
all those college students mainly watch Netflix. So
Yeah, even though for some dumbass reason we're still paying for cable in our dorms out of our tuition. So
yeah.
Oh,
I think
boy.
they should give us the option Netflix only rooms where the cost of cable is subtracted from your bill.
Or at least give you a TV.
Yeah, or at least give us a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then if you want that, go to Shanks.
We can't afford TVs because it was part of the cable bill.
Alright.
Speaking of instant streaming too, HBO is going to be on Amazon now. They made a deal with Amazon for Amazon Instant.
Yeah, but they're staggering what's available.
Yeah, they're doing old shows like Sopranos.
As long as they bring out How to Make It in America,
I think that's one of them.
How to Make It in America might be one of them.
I have to look at the list, but there's a short list.
If that is one of them, and they agree to start doing new episodes
have
of it,
Have you watched Silicon Valley yet?
Nah, I haven't
It's
yet.
really good.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Let's see. Another video game movie? Deus Ex isn't the movie's still in the works. It's not
I've
dead.
heard of
Now-
it. I've seen some gameplay, and I think it would translate.
Deus
well to
Ex
a
isn't
movie.
dead.
Are we talking about Deus Ex the original, or are we talking about Human Revolution?
Yeah, Human Revolution movie.
Okay.
I've seen gameplay of Human Revolution, and I
Yeah.
think it translates well to a movie.
I can really understand if they'd be doing.
Well, I mean,
a
it's
Deus
very,
Ex movie
it's not dead
based
but
on
it's-
Human Revolution.
Yeah, I mean, it's not dead, but it's still in very early production. Same thing with BioShock, because the other day they announced, last month they're saying Sony bought domains for a BioShock movie.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't care about a BioShock movie.
I would love to see a BioShock. I want to see a BioShock.
I think it would probably be dumb. But I bought Human Revolution when it came out. Didn't play it for an entire year. I came back. I was like, I got through the intro.
You kept it on ice for a year?
I played the first 20 minutes. I'm like, maybe I should leave this alone for a little bit because it was kind of difficult near the start.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, oh man, I have 2 weeks to just do nothing. So I just bolted down and I just played through the game.
Hunkered down and just went through.
It was fucking
That's
great.
what I did with Dark Souls.
Human Revolution is amazing.
That's what I did with Dark Souls. I bought Dark Souls in 2011.
I will never play Dark Souls. I will never do it to myself.
Is it because of the internet?
Because it's so difficult.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years to 3 years.
I refuse to play a game that gets harder when you die. I refuse to do that to myself. I draw the limit at games with health packs, let alone this shit. So no, I'm not.
If you really think about it, they just have very unforgiving checkpoints.
It's a harsh gameplay, but it's still fair. You never feel cheated when you play Dark Souls.
You actually,
unless you get accidentally invaded by a multiplayer person that is level 300 and has all
I've heard
the
about
best
that.
gear.
Yeah,
because when I started playing,
did that happen to you? Did that happen to you?
Yeah,
it happened to me the first time I played it. I started playing it again, and I started over during spring break. This is when I'm like, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to, as soon as I turn it on, 5 minutes in, they're like, son of a bitch! I was like, I die and I lose all my soul. So it's like I'm in the middle of a boss fight and this guy comes out and over. I'm like, son of a bitch! Like,
Go away.
But yeah,
I try to be the idiot, and I'm like, I try to fight him with this stick. This like that stick sword that you get in the beginning of the game,
man.
and I was like, and he's like, he has the Havel armor on, and I'm like the best armor in the game, and I'm just like going up, and I'm like, okay, he's just standing there. He stands there for like a minute, and I'm like, I look at his health, and it's like, I'm doing 1 damage each hit.
How much health does he have?
It's like I barely see any move. I don't even see any movement on his health bar, and then he stands there for like 30 seconds, and then out of nowhere, he steps back, and then I move in, and he hits me with one little hit.
And you're dead. And you're dead.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was the only downside. But,
Oh, man.
I don't know. I love Dark Souls. But
Yeah, you know, I actually I played through the game on New Game Plus too. That is.
for the second game,
Yeah,
what about those Falcons in the beginning?
the Falcons were really annoying.
Yeah.
They also add like a couple other, new parts to like the bosses where they just add through
Like they
throw
add
in
phantom
dudes
players.
halfway through, and
Yeah,
it's like,
like
oh my god!
Phantom players. Yeah, like phantoms and
did
stuff.
Did when you fought the Looking Glass Knight? Did you get a real person?
I haven't gotten that far
into
in
your
Game
game.
Boy.
Okay,
Because
well,
I've been trying my ass.
Instead of an NPC, showing up in that boss fight, real players show up in your boss fight.
They did that in
What?
Demon Souls, though.
Yeah, there was
They did
that one fight in Demon Souls. I
yeah,
remember
they do
hearing
that in
about.
Demon Souls. But
But that fucked me up hard.
well, what you do is to get around that is
you
pull
know,
up
you just
turn
you
off
just-
the internet.
well, no, I didn't do that because I was being a man about it.
But then you
Oh,
get
yeah.
because if you turn off the internet, you get the NPC characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's one boss I really hated, and that was in Dark Souls 2, and that was the last one.
You're talking about Nashandra
Yeah,
or the
Nashandra.
optionals?
Nashandra.
Nashandra was okay.
King Vendrick was a pain in the ass. It's like as soon as I walk in and I hit him, and then he swings down his sword, boom, you're dead.
Well, yeah, the worst part about that is that they never tell you that the only way to decrease his defenses so you do more than 1 damage per hit is to get these optional items that are just scattered across the world.
Exactly. Yeah, but
So you fight him the first time, you're like, I've got this huge ass sword, and you
he's
just
not
hit
doing anything.
He's wearing nothing. He is literally naked except for a loincloth. And you hit his leg, and it does 2 damage.
Yeah, you hit him a few. You have to hit him a few times, so you're like, oh man, this boss.
And then he
this boss-
notices you.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're hitting my leg. And then he just boom slashes you, and you die.
And then you
It's
go
great.
back, and then
That's
you have to
great.
go back.
I love
you go
that.
back, and then you have to go back to fight him, and then but as soon as you walk in through that gate, boom, right in the face with the sword.
Yeah.
But what I noticed was the first time I was like, hey, he's not fighting me. I'm hitting him like 2-3 times, and then when I hit him to like the 10th time, and I'm like, damn it.
But yeah.
And then I realized you didn't even have to fight the bastard.
Yeah, it's completely optional.
I didn't even know that. But, anyways, you know what's completely optional?
What?
Marvel rescheduling Captain America 3 from the same weekend as Batman.
It
and
might be
Superman.
more necessary than
Is it?
people think.
It might be more necessary than people think.
Optional, but is it a bad option or is it a good option? I actually think it'll be good on Marvel's part.
Yeah, I think. Their best case scenario would be to snipe Batman versus Superman and put it out 2 to 1 week before it.
Yeah, because if they put Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier, in April, why not put Captain America 3 in April? That would make perfect sense. April's actually worked more to their advantage than May has.
Yeah,
Because they've been
there wasn't much to challenge Captain America 2 in the first place.
in
Right.
April's pretty much clear. It's mainly just some low budget spring action films and stuff. But
Yeah.
so if they want to do well, put it in a whole month before Batman and Superman. Because if I'm not mistaken, Captain America 2 is 3 weeks in a row top spot, which is only
Yeah,
even Avengers didn't even
it
do
was
that.
best selling for its weekend, and I think for the first 3 weeks of its show.
Yeah, and even Avengers didn't get.
Avengers
that-
had a bad start.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah.
had a bad start in May. It had tons of competition at the same time, too.
Yeah.
I forget exactly, but I think it'll be smart. And with Batman and Superman, too, you have... People are pretty much going to go see that for the title alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rashid weighs in.
Do.
What I feel is going to happen with this movie, there's going to be a civil war in America over this movie. Because you're going to get some people, like, I can just see it now. There's going to be two separate lines. And it's going to be like the fucking, Capulets versus whoever the fuck else fought in Romeo and
Montague?
Yeah, whatever, fuck them, right?
As a previous English major.
I am an English major and I don't even fucking remember. Not only am I an English major, that's also the grade that I'm planning on teaching.
Oh boy.
But no, they just have big balls for doing this one, and I don't know if the payoff is going to be worth it. Although all the
For
good
Batman and Superman, or do you mean Captain America?
for Captain America.
Well, Captain America, actually, Marvel had that date reserved for like a couple years now.
Unknown
For
Marvel
a couple
movie.
years, they had it
really?
reserved. They had it reserved for like
Wow.
a couple years now. I think since Avengers. So
Wow.
then.
So DC must have assumed it was just going to be some
Like a smaller movie.
some dumb little
Or
movie.
maybe they
Yeah.
actually were expecting. Maybe
Ant-Man.
they wanted to play
Ant-Man.
it,
They were expecting Ant-Man.
or
Ah, yes, the
or
great summer
a
blockbuster.
game of chicken. Or a game of chicken. They're expecting to.
One of them was going to move. They're like,
Yeah,
one of us
but
is
it
gonna
actually
move.
seems Marvel's going to be moving now, because the
wish they
CEO of Disney is saying we're having really big problems with that release date now, because we're not. We want to make sure we do well. But
Well, they
I'm
said they
upset
were
that they're
really
moving.
thinking about it. If I remember, they're like heavily thinking about it. I don't remember the exact. Quote.
if you really think about it though too,
I think they said, yeah, the direct quote was that they're struggling about the release date.
I'm really upset that they're going to be moving if they move this date, because honestly, I feel like off of just the straight goodwill off of Captain America 2, they might have been able to have a bigger weekend than Batman vs Superman. I feel like they would have been able to do it.
plus then it could also put to rest who's a better franchise.
Exactly. Just end that discussion that day.
We need.
Also, wait, no, you couldn't do that.
We need.
Oh, you can. That wouldn't work. What
We need
What do we need?
Tell us!
to see.
The suspense is killing me.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
God damn it!
So anyway, to do a better segue into
Yeah.
today's SmackDown,
Yeah. Oh yeah. This brings us into our next SmackDown.
Yeah.
which is heavily speculative,
Yeah.
but the movies Captain America 3 versus Batman and Superman.
You know how they tell you not to judge a book by its cover? Well, we're judging movies.
We are
by their
literally
titles.
judging
Yeah.
books
And
by their covers.
and let's have a moment of silence for the title or theme.
Huh?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, James, you haven't really talked much, so let's you start.
Speak up, redhead.
Yeah, you guys are loud, really.
Yeah, speak
Okay,
up, mofo.
yeah, honestly, Marvel has a really solid formula as far as making movies. Like,
Yeah.
they've had some movies are better than others, but no movie they've made has been particularly bad. Even Iron Man 2, which I think was like the worst one.
It was still a good
enjoyed-
movie.
Yeah, still a good movie. DC, on the other hand,
Has a
Has been hit-
horrible track record.
yeah.
It's such
With
a
the exception,
terrible
with the
track.
exception
More
of
than that,
the
yeah,
trilogy.
they have a spectrum, but the Nolan trilogy isn't even part of this new universe.
Exactly.
So if you exclude that,
Not to
then
men-
yeah, pretty much everything they've made has been bad.
I mean, not to mention, a lot of people's opinion of Man of Steel was terrible.
Yeah,
A lot of
that-
people didn't like it.
That
so-
being said,
Just because they killed Zod at the
that
end, I
be-
mean,
you guys
that's.
keep interrupting.
So here's this. Oh, I'm sorry.
That being said, like I expect Captain America 3 again to be a great movie, like everything else Marvel has done. I expect Batman vs Superman to be awesome, just on the fact alone that we get to see Batman beat the shit out of Superman. But as far as like movie quality, I don't see us being the next Citizen Kane of movies. It's so as far as movie quality goes, Captain America, but I still want to kind of see Batman punch Superman.
Who
in
would
the
win
face.
if it was
Who
the
would?
same weekend? He would win in the box office. And that,
Yeah, between Box Office and Batman vs Superman, hands down, just because you have two superhero names in the title.
and you have verse in the title.
yeah.
Yeah, verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like
that's if they
Alien
use
versus
that title.
Predator.
Yeah.
What?
Even though the movie was complete and utter shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ooh.
Oh, God, that was terrible. And I felt really bad because one of my favorite celebrity crushes, Sanaa Lathan, was in it, and it was just god awful. Like, oh man. All right, who's next up for
Rashid?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
me.
Rashid, how about you go?
All right. I think that this movie, since it's in the Man of Steel universe, it's automatically going to not be
Good.
because, or it could still do well because people, since the name Batman is in it, they're going to get it confused with the fact that maybe this is a continuation of
Bale. Oh,
exactly.
man.
So I feel like a lot of people, or even though they think it's not going to be Bale, but they still think it's going to be in the same vein as the original trilogies. So a lot of people are going to be saying, "Oh, this could be really good because blah blah whatever." What
See,
happened?
actually, I think I kind of disagree because I think the cat's out of the bag with Ben Affleck being Batman.
Yeah. So
Everyone knows about that. So I don't think anyone is really going to come in
Yeah.
thinking that it's going to be related to the Nolan franchise.
And if that's the case, then this movie does not have a fucking leg to stand on because Man of Steel wasn't that great. Let's be honest, I kind of liked it, but I mean, nah,
It's
you know,
not
whatever.
as bad as some people say.
Yeah, it's not as bad, but when you're putting it against other things, it's not gonna be that great. And then Batman versus Superman, and then all these these things that they're throwing in, like, oh, so and so is making a cameo, Wonder Woman's making a cameo. I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference because
The Atom makes a cameo.
oh, God.
You
but
can't
like,
see him, but
he's there. But this movie, but Captain America 2 did so well that people are already just gearing up to see Captain America 3.
Yeah.
I feel that just the goodwill alone, not to mention the eventual huge marketing campaign that Marvel's going to pull off, not to mention the fact that, Chris Evans is like the god of Marvel movies right now. That right there is going to be able to carry them past that movie. I really feel that it could be close. It might not be close, and I want to say 65% of me say it's not going to be that close, but that 45% of me says it can be really close. But at the end of the day, Captain America 3 is going to be able to do it. Captain America. So my opinion, bigger box office first week, Captain America 3.
Alex?
All right. Well, we're sort of going echo chambery here, but I kind of agree with both opinions that have been already stated because, from watching Captain America 2, great film.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was sort of different from what First Avenger gave us, and sort of what Avengers gave us. Yeah, Hail Hydra and whatnot.
Hail Hydra!
But yeah, like the thing is that Marvel has a pretty good track record.
Very good track record.
Like other than them sort of running out of what they can do, like I'm not really on board with Guardians of the Galaxy or other stuff. I'm still on board for Age of Ultron, but I don't know. I think as long as they don't mess up royally on Captain America 3,
Right.
it will be equivocally a better movie than Batman vs. Superman. But if they refuse to budge on the date, I think that they might get some initial failures. I think everyone's going to be thinking, oh, Batman versus Superman. Those are two huge names that I know. So they will immediately go to Batman versus Superman, and if DC proves its track record badly once more, they will say, holy crap, that was awful, and they will say, don't see Batman versus
How many
Superman.
movies do you think DC has to make before they're just like, damn, we can't do this?
Because the problem is that they're trying to gear up for Justice League because Avengers pulled their pants down.
Right.
They were just sitting there holding the bag, and they were like, what do we do now with this? We have no Christian Bale. We have no Nolan Batman anymore.
Yep.
We have a mixed review Superman series now.
Right.
And we need to come up with a blockbuster supergroup fast to get a lot of money. And we don't have the time to make a Wonder Woman movie,
a new Green Lantern,
new Batman movie, a new Green Lantern movie, and a new Superman movie to fund an entirely, new Justice League project.
Screw
Right.
backstories. We're just gonna make a team.
No,
Yeah.
like my question is, one thing we have to take into factor here is one way this movie could be really, really successful is because think of the demographic that Marvel always goes for. Little kids.
Yeah.
What is more annoying than a little kid who wants to go to the movies? Nothing. Nothing. But this Batman vs. Superman movie is targeting older people. Older people with jobs. Older people who don't want to spend money. People with student loans who can't afford to spend money. You're going after a demographic who might not want to spend money but has a lot of internet access and can pirate the shit out of whatever you make. Therefore, that's another reason why I say Captain America 3 could do better, because you're targeting an audience who already wants to go to the movie.
See, I think you're right with most of the other Marvel movies, but I think Captain America's sort of reached a dark point
Yeah.
that is kind of bad for their normally, teen.
And especially when
preteen-
they're using, let's see, they're using Ultron as a villain.
using really dark stuff, like Nazi ideology and world control.
Okay, all right. No, all right. That's a really good point.
And using modern spy movie parallels and stuff where it's like, government agencies wanting to kill the most famous and most patriotic superhero there is.
But you know what? One factor that made all of that okay. The fucking Falcon. That made everything. Whatever they did, they could have killed puppies in a bag. The fact that the Falcon was in it made it that much better.
Oh yeah, and black flag operations where police are, where secret Nazi ideology government agents are
Assassinating people.
Yeah, are trying to assassinate another known person by using police uniforms and gear.
True.
That's something to really show to kids today.
But I know you can't see it, but the face he
At
made
least
when
it's
he said that.
PG-13.
Yeah, it's PG-13.
But so what? The Falcon, goddammit, the Falcon.
Oh yeah,
my God, the Falcon.
and depressing reunions of
black guy
95-year-old
sidekick.
women and once loved ones
But
with
the
Alzheimer's.
And
Yeah, with the Falcon.
but if you think about it, the Falcon's really the black sidekick. The black
He's
guy
all
sidekick.
right, let's be fair. The Falcon always was the black sidekick.
Touche.
He always, and I think he's okay with it now.
But still.
It's kind of his job description. Is this?
Yeah.
But isn't that sending a message?
Gotta say, War Machine was a better black sidekick.
Yes.
I will not say that.
War Machine is
wait.
cooler though.
Well, no.
Oh, God, that's a tough
No.
After seeing this one, I can't
No,
I can't
he's
go
not the
with
War
it.
Machine anymore.
Oh
He's
yeah,
Iron
Patriot.
Oh right, I never saw
Patriot.
Iron Man 3, so
Yeah, he's Iron
Yeah,
Patriot.
Iron Patriot is a
Hey,
baller
hey,
name though, by the way.
Iron Patriot demographed very well with kids.
Yeah, he did. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
there's a reason why every time you go into like a kid's store or like a toy section, you see Iron Man masks or Hulk masks or Captain
And now
America
it's Iron
masks.
Patriot.
Yeah, there's also Iron Patriot.
Kind of to go off of what Rashid and you guys have been saying is we're somewhat connoisseurs of movies.
No, we're not.
Okay,
Okay,
so
well we
We like to think we are.
yeah.
So we've
but
all
we-
watched bad movies.
so
Yeah, but we like to think that we have taste.
We don't. Well, no, we do. We do. We know because we know what we like. Coming from the geek standpoint, we know what we like.
We had a
general-
20-minute discussion about Anaconda.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, we know what we like.
The general
We know art.
the general public, on the other hand,
Sharknado is art.
Oh God, don't ever say that.
Just fucking with you.
No. Ghost Shark is art.
Okay,
the
so
general public is not as in tune with this. Generally speaking, people don't know anything that goes on in the mainstream comic universe, so they're not going to pay attention to that stuff, and they're just going to go with what names they hear.
No, yeah, I get it. But I still think that word of mouth will catch up to Batman vs.
Yeah.
Superman, and that even though
But
it'll
how
have a
soon?
much more successful
Because-
first weekend, it will inevitably be
Because
worse.
Spider-Man 3 actually held the world record for opening weekend box office at one point.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
The general public is bad at movies.
Yeah.
See Spider-Man 3. See Avatar.
Yeah.
I mean, Avatar. Don't get me started on that. But okay, so general consensus.
Captain America 3, I think.
Yep.
All right, me.
Are you being devil's advocate this time?
Don't
No.
don't be that guy.
No, I'm not gonna be that guy.
You don't have to do that.
We
Not
all
gonna
know
be that
you're the
good.
DC fan among us.
Yes, I'm the DC fan on this.
As you're wearing the.
I have a Batman
shirt.
tattoo, for Christ's sake.
Oh shit! I just noticed you had a Batman tattoo.
What the fuck? You know me for months, and you have not noticed my tattoo.
I did not.
I even talked to you about it before, and you don't remember that.
We met in the wintertime. You wore pants.
Oh boy.
Touche.
And
Okay, so yeah, I mean,
Thank God you wear pants.
okay, so I'm excited that Ben Affleck is actually playing Bruce Wayne in Batman. I'm actually very excited. I mean, people bash the idea, but I'm like, they did the same thing with Heath Ledger as the Joker.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
But Heath Ledger did it.
I think Ben Affleck can be a interesting Batman if
Yeah,
they pull it off.
I think, and same thing with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm willing to give it a chance, and I'm actually excited because they're going for these out of way casting choices, and I'm willing to give it a chance, and I'm curious to see who the villain will be. I know Lex Luthor's in it, but I think there's going to be a bigger villain in the movie for sure, like maybe Darkseid or something. So I'm very curious to
I
see.
thought the villain was Batman.
No.
And then disclaimer: don't get us wrong. We're still going to see both movies either way.
Yeah, we're going to see. I'm
Yeah,
going to see.
probably.
But
We're
we're
seeing
gonna
both
see.
movies either way.
Just imagine what the midnight showing could be. I mean, people are
I
like,
I have to figure out which midnight premiere I'm going to go to. Fuck.
Okay. I am I'm very split decided on what to see at midnight. Should I see Captain America 3 or Batman
Yes.
Superman? Flip the coin. Yeah, I don't like that decision.
I don't like the decision.
I feel like the movie theaters will have an option for that, where you can see both movies back to
I
back.
bet
Yeah.
you they will.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen.
Yes. Okay,
See,
I like that.
What I think is going to happen with the villain situation of Batman versus Superman is that, I mean, obviously from the title, it's Batman versus Superman.
I think it's going to be a loosely based World's Finest storyline.
See, I've never read that. But anyway.
But, because the World's Finest has the Joker, but Lex Luthor's also the villain.
But Batman usually only fights Superman if he has to stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Superman has already proven himself in Man of Steel to have straight up murdered Zod.
Yeah. So
And
now,
destroyed half of the Metropolis.
So
Yeah.
Superman's kind of fucked up right now.
So
And
now
he
he's
might
gonna
have
go.
some bad decision making.
Yeah.
And Batman might be there to clean stuff up.
Yeah. I think.
And Lex Luthor's there, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, Lex Luthor's probably going to be the manipulator there, but I'm actually excited
Yeah.
for it. Regardless, I'm very with the hints of possibly a Justice League movie, and plus, I think the woman that is casted as Wonder Woman, good casting on their part, and plus she's super hot.
Yes, that is a must for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she has the boobs for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, if you're not cute, stay the hell out of a Wonder Woman costume.
Exactly.
Why aren't there any unattractive superheroes?
Because no one wants to watch an ugly person save the day.
I mean, Wolverine's supposed to be ugly, but then they got Hugh Jackman to play.
Right, Wolverine has always called himself ugly.
He's supposed to be like a trucker dude.
He's just
like a trucker,
he's just a Canadian trucker lumberjack looking guy.
What Canadian trucker lumberjack looking guy looks like that?
Well, like Hugh Jackman?
Yes, that looks like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Well, you needed to get someone that wasn't, bad.
I think but for the box office, I think Batman and Superman's gonna do better in box office, mainly because the title alone, but also because people want to see what a Justice League movie might look like, and this will probably be the closest we'll ever get to it. If this fails, it'll probably be the closest we'll ever see of a Justice League movie, and I think people will really want to see that. So I think that's going to do well.
They're going to have to work really hard to make it a critically good movie.
Yes,
And not just a critically,
I think
and not
it's gonna
just a successful movie.
But like, it has to make an impact on the public, not just like as far as box office, but it has to resonate with the public. Wow, this was a good movie.
Yeah, so
This
I think
is
it's going to be
basically
Captain America
DC's
3 is
chance.
going to be good. Is going to be good regardless. So I'm not worried about that. But I think Batman and Superman is going to take the top box office. Especially, I think it'll destroy Captain America on the first weekend. I think pretty much in box office.
If they do win, and I'm saying as a slight, my opinion, Captain America wins. But if they do win, it's not going to be destroyed. It's like they might win by maybe like $10 million, maybe.
We'll see. But then again, there'll probably be people that actually see both.
It's a movie, isn't it?
It could be close. It could be real close. It could be not close at all.
Or it could be tied because the same people they're saying Batman and Superman the same way. Yeah, so they go, oh, we just got a Batman and Superman. Oh, there's Captain America. Let's go in.
You know what? Actually, I feel like that is actually what's going to end up happening.
But then also knowing Marvel, they'll open 2 weeks overseas in advance overseas anyways.
So they're cheating? So they're cheating?
So yeah, they'll be open overseas 2 weeks before or a week or two before it comes out.
No, yeah. Best case scenario for Marvel is just to see the May, the whatever their week was.
Yeah.
Put it, in
April.
2 to 1 weeks before.
I'll put it in April.
No, they have to go back. They have to go back. They would have to push it back later, right?
No, they can move it up.
Do you think that?
I mean, that's what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy. They actually moved Guardians of the Galaxy up from like a month because it was originally supposed to come out in September, and then they pushed it to August.
But do you think that like if they do move it up, that loss of time will make the movie worse or better?
No, they have like 2 years to do it. So I mean,
sure.
They would have the same amount of time.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks.
And it comes out in 2016. So
yeah, this discussion got really out of hand.
Yeah. All right. So I guess
not unanimously, but Captain America won.
We're pretty not unanimous.
3-1.
3-1. At least I didn't play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Well, not intentionally.
Yeah. It came from a good place.
Yeah. And with this week being the 25th anniversary of Game Boy, I thought it'd be wise to do our pick of the week as our favorite Game Boy memory.
Yeah.
My favorite Game Boy memory is actually kind of depressing.
Go ahead.
My favorite Game Boy memory
Why is it your favorite then?
because this is my first Game Boy memory too. The first Game Boy I ever got, it was the original Game Boy Color. They got it in red. They got it in like that solar red, the color that they have. I got it and I went to my grandfather's house, and my mother's significantly older than her younger brothers. So I got it, and I'm playing it. Their dad didn't get them one. My grandfather did not get my uncles a Game Boy. So I'm playing it, and they're like, "You're not playing it right. You gotta help me. Let me help you get a Pidgey. You need more Pokemon." And then they beat the whole damn game. They didn't let me play it. They kept it like for a week. Like after I left, my mom was like, "Where's your Game Boy? Robin or Randy have it." She's like, "These little bastards." Went over a week later, picked because my mom is 6'2", and they were like, I don't know, like 5'4" at the time. It's like, if you ever steal my son's stuff again, I don't care if you're my brothers, I will beat you senseless. They gave the game back. It's like, here, we helped you out. It's like, I have all the badges. Everything has been evolved. There was no point in you giving me this game back. You should have just bought me.
Caught them all. I have nothing.
Yeah, like because I had blue. Like you should have just bought me red and just gave it back. And was like, here's red. Do it yourself this time. Little bastards. But that was my first / favorite / not at all favorite memory of the Game Boy.
James?
No, I'll go last.
No, you're going next.
Go now. Go now.
If you said you'll go now, we'll probably would have said you're going last, but too late.
You guys are assholes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
My first game that I've ever owned personally was Pokemon Emerald. To this day, I've been hooked on Pokemon, and I still think it's the greatest
And Pokemon
game
Bank.
made. Also, yes, and Pokemon Bank, which is the second greatest Pokemon game ever made.
It's not even a game.
Don't mock it. Anyways, so my first console, so to speak, was the Game Boy Micro.
Get the fuck out!
Get out! Get out!
This is why I said I wanted to go last. Which if I ever wanted to trade with somebody, I had to use my friend's Game Boy Color.
Damn it, Zach! You should have just let him go last.
Well, Rashid. No, wait. Now we can have Rashid give it 10 minutes of him bashing you.
No. Finish this story. Finish this.
If I ever wanted to trade Pokemon, I had to use my friend's Game Boy because all of the wires from Game Boy Micro to Game Boy were like non-existent. You couldn't find this shit on Amazon.
You hear that? It's the world's smallest violin.
No. This game system. I don't even want to call it that.
It's a joke.
This travesty
Hey man,
of
I logged in
electronics.
over 500 hours on this system.
That
okay?
was 5,001 more hours than you should have. You should even gave it an hour's thought, then bought the damn thing. This game, okay. And I was telling them this story. This game system was so bad. There was only one guy in my entire school that had a Game Boy Micro. You know what happened to this kid when he
died?
brought out his Game Boy Micro? We stopped talking to him.
Oh, I thought he died.
No, we should have killed him. This system was terrible. My mother has every Game Boy system to date except the 3DS, only because she has bad eyes. She doesn't want to deal with the 3D shit.
She could turn
She
it
could
off.
get the 2DS, which is
She has the 2DS.
so you know that's the Game Boy Micro of the 3DS.
Kill yourself!
Oh my
My
god.
mom didn't even want the Game Boy Micro because it was a shitty system. Everything about it, honestly, when the Game Boy Micro first came out, I thought it was like a Burger King promotional tool. Like,
And how much was it? It was like,
I'm so serious.
and it was like a $200 system.
I thought they gave it away at Happy, in like the little Burger King like kids meals. I thought that's what they were doing. I was like, oh gee, mom, can we go to Burger King so I can get one just to have it? And my mom was like, no, that's a real game system. I'm like, that's bullshit. I don't believe you. I actually cursed. I was I think 12 at the time, and I said, that's bullshit. I don't believe you.
Hey, Rashid.
Oh my
Take
god,
deep
my
breaths.
sides.
Take deep breaths. Breathe. Breathe, Rashid. Breathe.
I feel like Hades and Hercules right now. Just this. Oh god, that game system was possibly the worst thing to ever happen to Nintendo. I'm so glad that people like to glance over the Game Boy Micro, because if that still was in the forethought of people's minds when they thought of Nintendo, Nintendo would have went out of business. How long has the Game Boy Micro been out?
Well,
Like
they stopped.
probably 8 years.
They would have went out of business 8 years ago. That's how bad that system was, if people remembered that it even existed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they stopped making it, because I would hate to see that around.
All right.
Zach, you want to go?
Yeah.
Alex.
Or do you want me to
I'll
go,
go
or
last.
you go?
I'll go
Okay.
last.
Well, my first and I guess best Game Boy memory was I don't know, to pretext it. My brother had his birthday before me, and he got the original Game Boy, like the big ass Game Boy.
Yeah, I love those ones.
And he
the
got
one without color?
Yeah. And he got Pokemon Red with it, and I was super jealous because my birthday wasn't for like a couple months.
Oh.
So I didn't get my Game Boy until my birthday, which was it was like the end of summer.
Hashtag first world problems.
Yeah. And I got it just in time for our vacation, or whenever we went on a vacation. And I got like the lime green Game Boy Color and Pokemon Blue.
Nice.
And lime green was a real nice color. I
That
still
was
have
good.
it.
Well, that was actually a really good choice.
But yeah, I remember the first time I tried it, I picked Charmander, obviously, because Charmander's cool.
Yeah.
And then because the system is dumb, I wanted to try out like another Pokemon, and I ended up overwriting my save because you had to save every time you went into the PC for the first game. So I ended up overwriting my save with one where I had a Squirtle.
Right.
But the thing is, like, Squirtle then became like my favorite Pokemon, like pretty much to date, and I ended up using that Squirtle until it became like level 80.
Blastoise?
Yeah, until he became level 80 Blastoise or whatever, and I ended up transferring him to Pokemon Gold, and then I think you could transfer from Gold to Ruby Sapphire. I don't remember.
Okay.
No,
But
you can't.
you couldn't.
No.
Well,
That's why they remade Fire Red.
Yeah, I did that. I continued my old childhood game in Fire Red, and that was pretty hype.
My first Pokemon I mentioned I got Emerald first was my.
And I'm actually still using that Blastoise in my Soul Silver game.
So you still have the same Blastoise?
Technically, it's the second generation of the Blastoises, but yeah.
Oh, nice.
I still have that game that still has that Blastoise, though.
My first Pokemon was Swampert, and to this day, Swampert's my favorite Pokemon.
You Mudkip asshole.
Right. You Mudkip asshole.
I'll admit it.
I heard you like
Mudkips.
Mudkips, you fuck.
That is the best insult ever. I heard you like Mudkips, you fuck.
That should be a T-shirt.
Yes.
You can capitalize on a T-shirt.
It only got worse once I got into competitive Pokemon because Swampert's a boss because he only has one weakness, which is grass. It's a twice weakness.
Yeah, because he's water ground.
Yeah. But he only has one weakness, and then he's so well balanced in all other areas. So he's just a great Pokemon. Anyway, Zach, what were you saying?
Yeah, what's yours?
All right, so mine. Oh damn! I skipped the Game Boy Color, so I had the Game Boy up to.
If you say micro, I swear to God.
No, I never even
Okay.
got the micro. I'm not that much of a nerd. I actually got it until the Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
But then the Game Boy Advance came, and then the Game Boy Advance Color,
Then the Game Boy SP. The SP.
and the SP was my shit.
Oh,
I love the SP.
The SP is pretty much the perfect Game Boy up and like it's actually pretty much the perfect Game Boy.
Yeah.
It is the perfect Game Boy.
Yeah, I love
and,
it. I love it.
And it was the one before the DS, and the DS I thought took a step down. So from the SP
The
because
first DS.
The first
the
DS
first
is
one
real
did.
bad. The DS Lite is actually very good.
Yeah, my mom
the
had
first
a
DS really took a step down.
Didn't they
so
sell the first DS for like a month before they came out with the DS Lite?
Oh, it was like
Yep.
solid
They
6 months, I think.
yeah,
It wasn't that. I won't think it was 6 months, but it wasn't
Well-
as long as you thought it would be before you come up with a new.
But I remember
Yeah.
buying the big fat blue DS that like had Super Mario's DS on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The 64.
I remember-
Yeah.
playing a lot on my SP, and the one game that frustrated me the most because I sucked at it for some reason was Super Mario Brothers 2. That game was actually pretty difficult on
That game-
platform.
that game is pretty tough.
Yeah, so it took me. I was in 4th grade at the time or something like that. I played nonstop. I actually pretended to be sick to take off to actually play this game.
You bastard!
But
You ingenious bastard!
so I pretended I had a cold and I took a few days off. But in the end, I actually did get sick while I was off. So
Karma's a bitch.
Karma was a bitch.
Karma's a bitch.
So yeah, but I remember very fun. I was able to get like off during PSSA testing week. So the week we had PSSA.
Government mandated testing for Mario.
Yes,
How dare you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I did that.
Horrible.
I did have to make it up though. So unfortunate. That was unfortunate.
I thought you got out of this shit, huh?
I
You're
tried,
just-
but the feeling I had, I was like, yes.
Oh.
So that has to be my most fondest Game Boy memory. I don't know why. Plus the SP was my shit.
The SP is just,
I think it was the pinnacle of Nintendo's handheld systems.
Yeah, Alex, you're right. That is the perfect handheld system.
Yeah.
It's
It's
perfect.
great.
If you don't
can
have one,
play,
go
you
to-
can play Game Boy Color, can play Game Boy Advance.
Yep.
And both those are amazing.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
DS now you can't even play the.
The DS Lite is the perfect one because although you can't play Color, you can play Advance.
Well,
I
Color-
feel
all the
old
games from
now
Color are
being able
on.
to- I feel old now being able to say that my DS can play Game Boy games.
Yeah, you should feel old.
Well, your 3DS can't. The 3DS doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, the 3DS and the 2DS doesn't play. That's why I don't like about it. Like, they're just now these little cartridges.
Yeah. Oh god, I hate those little things.
Yeah, so I don't know. Before, I think it was the pinnacle of Nintendo's handheld systems, and if anything, if they wanted to go back, they should re-release the SP and
Yep.
make new games for it. There's actually a market out
The
there.
Game Boy 3D SP.
The 3D. How many like letters are they just gonna throw behind
But no,
these
just
games
make
now?
the re-release.
3DSP
Or
XY.
put the, instead of the 3D,
XL.
the 3D. I actually had the LP, not the SP.
You're the LP.
The LP
the
was the
LP?
limited edition SP.
Ooh. Wait, which
What?
color was it?
It
it
was
silver?
it was like a purplish.
Oh, my mom.
It was like
gave
a
me the
purple. It had like it was a little purplish, but it was like LP with it was like limited edition.
You know what? Hypest Special Edition Game Boy.
Yep.
Because
The
it came as it came,
Pikachu Yellow Edition Pokemon one.
I also had that one.
That was hype.
I got that one, and I got the game, and I was like, "Fuck everybody, I'm so cool," and
So,
no one cared.
Before we end this
care
episode,
a shit.
let's go through a few little reviews because we haven't
Yeah,
really touched
sure.
on those.
Quick.
Game of Thrones this week. Did you,
Yeah, I watched it.
Didn't watch it. I don't watch Game of Thrones.
The problem I have with that episode was that they did some bad things with the source
was it
material,
the Jamie
and by bad
Cersei?
things, I mean, they
Rape?
made a consensual sex scene into a rape scene, which is
I heard
bad.
about that. Like,
That's not good.
Well, I couldn't tell. Is that because she's like stop? But it's like it doesn't really look like she's fighting. It's like is it consensual? Is she like a part of her wants to?
The problem with it was in the books. It's like, all right, let's do this quick because she doesn't want to get caught because they're fucking literally in front of their dead son's corpse.
Oh.
But instead, it makes it
In
out
the
to be
church.
a rape
Yeah.
in front of their dead
They
son's
turn
corpse.
a guy that is totally not a rapist, that is
Into a
totally
rapist.
that is totally anti-rape for the entire series, and they fuck him up. And I don't know if I can trust those two writers with the series anymore because I don't think they understand what the series is anymore.
By the way,
unless
I
it just-
love how instantly once we bring up Game of Thrones, it turns to rape.
No, I'm not gonna.
Wait, that's Game of Thrones for you.
I saw this article headline, and I didn't read it, but I saw the article headline. It's like, it said Game of Thrones rape. Director says the book is not to be taken literal or something like that, or something along those lines.
George R. Martin actually said
George R. R. Martin was like, okay, they kind of interpreted it wrong,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, because they kind of interpreted the consensual as non-consensual, but other than that, it was.
he was like, it's still a reasonable adaptation, and you know what, I respect them for doing it the way they did it, but I don't think they did it in the right way.
I just think he wanted to see dicks, and that's just another way to see them. That's the way he did it.
Yeah.
Cause shit,
That was me.
No, I flung something. It hit the ceiling and hit me again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give that episode like 2 out of 5. Although the
Rape.
it was a really good episode otherwise, but I don't know if I can
ending.
trust them with the adaptation anymore.
I love that
That's a
ending.
good point. That's a really good point.
Because that is like a very
Do you think they're doing it's
a very hard
TV
moment.
show curse where the longer the show is, the less it'll...
I just don't know. I don't know what they're...
I mean, I'm going to watch next week.
rights to.
I mean, it might just be one little mistake. I mean, a mistake they've
It's
made.
a pretty big mistake
I
to turn
big-
a consensual scene into a rape scene.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is...
I mean,
it
I
could
think
be-
you'll get more mistaken than that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll...
The only problem is if they sweep it under the rug or if they actually, talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
think
need to
they'll.
talk about it.
I think they'll talk about it.
But the thing is, HBO has messed over every series that they've ever bought. I'm going to make a confession here, and you people are going to hate me for it, but I watched True Blood. I like it. It's not a bad series to me.
I should,
man.
I should try to get into that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good series. The thing is, there's a character named Lafayette in the story. And the first season basically was the first book of the series. Except Lafayette dies at the end of the first book, but apparently, like the audience loved Lafayette so much that they kept him alive. The problem is now, since that season 1 finale, the entire thing is going haywire. Now, like Lafayette found out he's part witch and he can do all this cool stuff, which never happened in the book. Like any series that is based on a book that HBO gets their hands
Dexter.
on.
I mean, Dexter. That was Showtime too, and people were very iffy about
The
that.
problem with loose adaptations is that eventually, if you stray too much away from the source material, you start going off the rails
Walking Dead.
eventually.
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Okay.
No, they
There's
still
a lot of
kinda keep
complaints
to it.
about True Blood for that.
Yeah.
For that same reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it for the most part, except for that scene. It just didn't really make sense.
Like there was a lot of good writing in that episode.
I love the ending at
It's just I
Marine.
don't know how they could be so equivocally wrong about like an important part about that, because like the Jaime Cersei relationship is weirdly sexually obsessive. Because when you get into the book part of that scene, it's the first time they see each other in like a year. They both think they're dead. They both think each other were dead. And their son is dead, and they just don't give a fuck, and they're literally fucking in a church.
In front
and
of their
she's
dead
on
son.
her period, and she doesn't give a shit, and he doesn't give a shit, and it's so weird and creepy. But it's like wow, they really love each other.
Yeah, but now they're just took
But
all
now
that,
it's-
like you bypass all that like normal weirdness.
But yeah,
to
now
just wrong.
Now it's just Cersei is grieving over her son. Jaime doesn't give a fuck, and he just starts raping her, and they cut away, and it's really odd, and it's really sour.
Yeah.
And then it's just, business as usual. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
Like they just, you want to get some pancakes? Like shit like that. Like, like that's not cool, man. You can't, like, for one, I believe that no show should ever include a rape scene unless it's in the character's description and that he's a bad guy and that's kind of what he does. But not only, but then you especially don't include rape when rape is not even written into the source material.
It's even weirder because in the past 2 seasons, I think, they used Jamie with another character, and he explicitly prevents another character from getting raped.
Right.
And in the process, loses his hand.
Yeah.
As retaliation. And then a second time, he prevents the same person from being raped and killed by a bear.
Wait. I'm sorry. He almost got raped by a bear?
Killed by a bear and raped.
By a bear?
No, not by the bear.
Okay. Let me just make that really clear.
Yeah.
Like, by the bear.
Like,
Bear rape.
By the bear.
it's so out of character from
Sorry, folks, we're
from a
immature.
person that is
That's
a
how
big
men do it.
fan of the series and the book.
I mean, for the most part, the episode was great. I just didn't like that scene. I love the ending. I think
ending
Daenerys
was
is really
pretty
coming out to be a great character this season. Even though she's come to a slow start. I mean, she's really not had much screen time compared to the first season.
Yeah, they sort of just shoved the ending in the end. They could have done some more with it.
They're probably going to do that next episode. We'll see.
Yeah.
But how about that? I was still trying to get over that Arya and the Hound scene from the first episode, the chicken. Now KFC bucked in on it, and they made a joke on their own Facebook page where they had the Hound with on the KFC bucket instead.
All right. So, is there anything else we should
Yeah,
talk about?
no, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, we didn't doing good.
All right. Yeah, that's been Geek Talk with Rashid,
Yeah. And
James.
I was like, are we introducing others now?
I don't know.
All right, let's do it. That's been Geek Talk with Alex.
Yeah,
And who are you introducing?
James.
And Zach.
And nobody.
Yeah!
So, yeah.
That's all we have.
All right.
We're a train wreck.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're a train wreck.
Hot
All right.
Mess Express.
Sayonara.
Peace.